This is probably going to come across as an angry rant, uh, but I am upset about the character assassination that's taking place from the press against a young 17-year-old who defended himself righteously, by the way, in Kenosha, Wisconsin. And I'm talking about Kyle Rittenhouse. Um, the press is saying things like he was obsessed with cops. No, he wasn't. He was a cadet in the police in his local community. That's no more being obsessed with cops than I am as a volunteer in my police department. Does that make me obsessed with cops? Does it make anyone who happens to like their police be obsessed with them? This is a technique for saying anyone who supports the police is therefore evil. And that's in the face of this defund the police silliness that's going on. So that's one thing. There's a picture of him somehow attending a Trump rally. So now you are an evil person for expressing your political support for whichever candidate you have. That's a terrible thing to say and charge to a young person who is expressing their civil duty and their civil right and their First Amendment right. So unless you associate yourself with someone that I think is correct, you are an evil person. Likes to play soldier. Anyone that carries a rifle that looks like an AR-15, you are now playing soldier, right? So you're starting to get the feel for the character assassination that's already starting to take place around this young man. The last one is he is a far-right militia member. He was not a militia member. And because you carry a firearm, pistol or long gun, you are automatically associated with being the militia or something like that, right? This is a terrible thing to do. Now, Kyle has been arrested for 2 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder, and he has been charged for that. All that means is that he was arrested and charged. Does that mean he's guilty of anything? As a matter of fact, I'm getting ready to explain to you the state of Wisconsin law around the use of self-defense. Because when you hear this, you will see that Kyle is innocent and there will probably not be any charges. And I hope there's an attorney out there that will do some pro bono work for this young man, because I don't think he or his family has the money to do that. First, in the state of Wisconsin, self-defense is an affirmative defense. It is a privileged defense for an individual. So that means you actually say, so in your defense, did you kill him? And you say, yes, I did. And then, did he need killing? And you go, yes, he did. And here's why. So it's the here's why part that becomes important, because it is an affirmative defense. So what are the things that are important about this law? One, you don't have to be injured in order to defend yourself against injury. Understand that. You do not have to be injured to defend yourself against imminent injury, right? And there must be a reasonable belief, not fear, reasonable belief that you are about to be seriously injured or killed, right? Now, let me go through the three things that have to be in place each in order to successfully argue an affirmative defense of self-defense. One, does the threat have the ability to deliver serious bodily injury or death? If the answer is yes, that's one check mark. Does the perceived threat have the opportunity to deliver imminent serious bodily injury or death to you or the innocent? If the answer is yes, you got two. The third one, is the threat of serious bodily injury or death to you imminent? That is, it is about to happen now. If those three are in place at the same time, you can use deadly force to defend yourself against that threat. Well, in the case of Kyle Rittenhouse, all three were there. One, he was being chased by a group of people. A group of people obviously have the ability to do that. He was being chased. They have the opportunity to deliver that because that was their intent. And third, he had been pushed from behind and he was on the ground being surrounded by multiple attackers, right? Which is disparity of force, many against one, right? Many against one. And I don't know about you, but since the Rodney King riots, if you haven't understood what a group of people can do to you when you're on the ground, you have been living under a rock. And if you haven't watched any mixed martial arts, you understand that once you are on your back, on the ground, you are extremely vulnerable to being killed. Because all it takes is one kick to the head. And oh, by the way, that is what the last person experienced in the last riot, last week. So if you're on the ground and you're being surrounded by multiple people, all three are in place, disparity of force, you have the right to use deadly force to defend yourself. And that is exactly what Kyle Rittenhouse did. And he did it with high skill. High skill. Right? So whether he's been charged or not, he has been charged. Will he go to trial? Who knows? But I just read you the law for the use of self-defense in the state of Wisconsin. And the only thing that could change that is some political crap that's going on. They shot my baby. Well, you know what? Here's a flash for you. You see somebody walking down the street day or night carrying an AR-15 and you decide you're going to run up on them, right? You deserve what you get. You deserve what you get. So if you get shot in the melon, nah, that's on you. And oh, by the way, if the person who got shot is your son, your brother, your husband, your cousin, whatever, you teach them to keep their hands to themselves. Because Kyle Rittenhouse was not touching anyone. He was not approaching anyone. He was trying to run away from the people who were chasing him. And only when he was on the ground did he use his weapon. And I'll say again, he used it with skill. Good for him. So keep your hands to yourself. Don't start chasing people that happen to have weapons. I don't care who you are, because that's a dumb move. So my rant's over. This young man is innocent. He is being character assassinated. And all of you who support the Second Amendment and support the right to self-defense against disparity of force, multiple attackers. Get out there, say it loud, and be proud of it, because this had nothing to do with the black guy that got shot in the back. This only had to do with a bunch of people chasing a single person and throwing him to the ground. I tell you what, I'm not letting anybody take me to the mat, period. Anyway, long story short, righteous shoot, good for him. We eliminated at least 2 stupid people from the gene pool. Now, having said that, as always, thanks for watching. Carry on.